Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Empress Tifa here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make crunchy delicious chinchin in large quantity. If this is something you are interested in, come with me. So to make our chinchin, we need a couple of ingredients. I'm going to write the full ingredients list and their measurements in the description box below. So on my table I have milk, I have egg, I have margarine, I have baking powder, I have cinnamon, I have salt, I have nutmeg, I have corn flour. You'll be surprised that we are using corn flour, but yes, corn flour makes your chinchin to be very crunchy. And the most important ingredients, all-purpose flour. In this video, we are going to be making use of 4 kg of flour for this chinchin. And for the 4 kg of flour, we are going to be needing 900 grams of sugar, 55 grams of milk powder, 60 grams of corn flour, 1 liter of milk, 1 to 2/3 cups of margarine, which is 370 grams of margarine. You can use butter if you want, and you can use a combination of both butter and margarine. We are going to be needing 10 medium-sized eggs, 10 grams of baking powder, 7 grams of nutmeg, 24 grams of cinnamon, and 18 grams of salt. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be putting all the quantities in the description box, and also I'm going to write those quantities in cups measurements in case you don't have scale to measure in grams. So I'm just mixing all the dry ingredients together. I realized that my bowl was too small to mix 4 kg of flour, so I divided into 2 bowls. Then I'm dividing the dry ingredients in between the 2 bowls. Okay, so I'm not measuring to divide into the 2 bowls, so I'm just kind of eyeballing it. So after mixing, I'll make everything one large dough. I hope you understand. It is also very important to note that I sifted the flour into the 2 bowls before mixing every other dry ingredients. This is important because sifting flour will remove the impurities in your flour, and it will also make your flour to be very easy to work with. Now, after mixing all the dry ingredients, the next thing is to rub in your margarine into the flour. So you are going to mix in the margarine until all the parts of the flour is properly incorporated with the margarine, and it's going to have a crumbly texture. It's very important that you add your butter or margarine first before any other wet ingredients, because if you add wet ingredients before adding your margarine, then that will mean that you will be kneading the dough, and we don't want to knead the dough. We are not trying to what's it called, we are not trying to form gluten. Okay, so rub in your margarine until the flour becomes crumbly. As you can see right now, that it's not looking like the margarine is on one side. So now I'm mixing in the eggs. Okay, you can actually whisk your eggs before adding into the bowl, but I didn't whisk mine. It does not matter. I'm just going to mix it in very well. After mixing in the eggs, I proceeded to add the milk. If you are using water, this is the time to add water, or you can mix the egg and the water or the milk together and pour it inside your flour mixture. So you can do it either ways. So this is me mixing the dough. I don't want too much liquid. 1 liter of milk is what we are using for 4 kg of flour. So that means if we are using 1 kg of flour, you are going to use a 1/4 cup of milk. Okay, so that's it. Once I'm done mixing the first bowl, I'll also go ahead and add milk to the second bowl and mix. Then I have these two doughs from the two bowls. Now, because I did not measure my ingredients when I was dividing into the two bowls, I decided to mix the dough together to form one uniform dough. If I measured my ingredients into the two bowls, there will be no need for this because this is a thorough arm workout. So I'm done incorporating the two doughs into one piece. Now I'm very sure that all the ingredients are well mixed together. It's not as if one bowl will be much more delicious or have more ingredients than the second bowl. Everything is one now. So I proceeded to cut my dough into smaller sizes. This is going to, because I cannot roll that large mass of dough once, so I have to cut it into smaller pieces so that it will be easier. I'm cutting the size out, it will be very easy for me to work with. So once I'm done dividing the dough, I'll just proceed to flour my cutting board. Now, you need a very smooth surface to cut your chin-chin. You can use a table, you can use a cutting board, you can use anything. Just make sure that it's a smooth, hard surface, okay? You don't need too much flour when you are cutting your chin-chin. This is because if you notice, my dough is not sticky at all. When I was cutting the dough, you can see that the dough was not sticky. So that's how your chin-chin dough should be. That way, when you are cutting, you won't need so much flour. Some people, when they are cutting their chin-chin, they pack so much flour to cut because the dough is very sticky. You don't need to do that. When you use too much flour when you are cutting your chin-chin, what's going to happen is that when you are frying the chin-chin, your oil is going to foam. And not only that, it's going to soak up your oil. It's going to soak away your oil. Your oil will greatly reduce due to the quantity of flour that you use to sprinkle the chin-chin when you are cutting. And also, you are going to now have plenty sediments at the bottom of your frying pan. You know the way the flour will go and settle down at the bottom of that frying pan. And you now need to sift it out when you are done frying or something like that. So you don't want all those scenarios. Just make sure that your dough is not too sticky. And if you use this recipe, you follow this recipe properly, you are not going to have any problem. So now, once I'm done rolling, I'm just going to cut with a pizza cutter. You can use a knife, you can use scissors, you can use whatever you have, and you can cut any shape that you want, okay? Now that I'm done cutting, I'm just going to pack everything inside the tray. Now, when you are putting your chin-chin on the tray, make sure that you are maintaining one layer. Don't pack the chin-chin on top of one another so that they will not stick before you fry. And this is important because I want to cut all the batches before I fry. So by the time I finish cutting, if I stack them together, the ones at the bottom would have stuck to one another, and we don't want that. So get as many trays as you can. Or if you don't have as many trays and you are doing large quantity, once you are done cutting one tray, you can go and fry, then come back, cut another batch, go and fry and come back, okay, till you are done with all the cutting. But make sure that you are not stacking everything on top of one another, okay. So I'm just going to do this for all the batches until I finish cutting my chinchin. Now it's time to fry the chinchin. I put the oil on medium low and I put in 2 chinchin, and once those 2 chinchins float to the surface of the oil, that means the oil is hot enough, not too hot but hot enough. Then I start packing in the chinchin. Now, depending on the size of your pan, make sure that you are not overcrowding the chinchin. Make sure that there is enough room to move the chinchin about. So the chinchin is frying and you have to keep an eye on it. You keep an eye on it so that it doesn't burn, okay. Then you have to stir constantly also, so one part does not get darker than the other parts. So at this point, the chinchin is at the exact color that I want it, amber brown color, and it's such a beautiful and gorgeous beautiful and gorgeous color for chinchin. So now I'm just taking it off the oil and getting ready to fry another batch. So once the first batch is fried, we proceed to putting in another batch, and that's how we continue till all the batches are fried. And also it's important to adjust the temperature of the oil as we go so that it does not burn. And here it is, our chinchin in all its glory. If you watch this video to the end, thank you and God bless you, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye bye.